One. So today we will be presenting the habit 6 and which will be presented by group number 6. The members of group 6 are Tabish, Amama and Faizal. So we will be starting. So I would like to call upon Papa Mama. Can you hear me? So please start your presentation. I will share the screen.
Am I audible?
Yes, you are. You can start.
Okay. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamu alaikum. First of all, I would like to introduce myself. My name is Amama Noor and I complete my master degree in chemistry. Along with me, there are two group members, which is Ms. Faiza and Mr. Tabish. I would also like to thank Sir Anwar for providing such an amazing platform which enhance our learning capabilities. So thank you so much, sir. So all of you welcome here. I hope so all of you enjoying the today's session. So let's start. Today our topic is habit 6, which is also known as Synergize, also called Synergy. She is a American author. Name is Helen Keller. She said, "Alone we can do so little. Together we can do so much." This is a very simple way to define synergy. When we move forward, we explain the exact meaning of synergy. What is synergy? We also explain with some suitable example, so you can easily understood how we can define this synergy. You can easily understand this saying, what Helen Keller says. So now we move forward. Next slide, please. Okay, so what does synergize mean? Synergy is achieved when two or more people work together to create a better solution than either could alone. What does it mean? It means that when any two forces mean it could be a two individual, it could be a two departments, it could be a two plant, two animal. When any two forces combine together, they put the combined effort. They give us a collective result. They give us a collective output, which is more than the individual result, which is more than the individual output. This is called synergy. The collective output is far better than the individual individual output. Now, many people says that when an individual work alone in a day, they give a little output. But when they work with someone else, both of their effort give a double output than individual. It's normal, it's synergy, but no, this is not a synergy. This is arithmetic. When people work in a day and they give us a little output, and when they work someone else and they give a double output, this is arithmetic, not a synergy. However, how can we differentiate between arithmetic and synergy? So I can try to understand with this example. Let's suppose there are two persons, one is Mr. Ali and one is Mr. Bilal. Mr. Ali, he working alone in a day and he producing the 2 unit in a day. Same in the case Mr. Bilal, he also work in a day alone and produce the 2 unit in one day as an individual. And the total result in one day is 4 unit. But in second day, they decided to work together. Both of them working together, they gave a combined effort. So according to arithmetic, the result is 4. But no, when they work together in one day, they put combined effort, the result is more than the individual work. That is synergy. The simple definition of synergy is that synergy is more than the arithmetic sum. Just like that, when we say 1 plus 1, the arithmetic says it's equal to 2. But 1 plus 1 is equal to 11. 1 plus 1 is equal to 100, is equal to 1000. That is synergy. Synergy is more than the arithmetic sum. Clear? It's not your way or my way, but a better way, a higher way. What does it mean? आपने सुनी होगी एक famous line. Arthur says that 2 heads are better than 1. 2 minds are better than 1. When 2 minds work together, when 2 heads work together, its result is better than 1. Its result is better than individual. Synergy is basically a teamwork. It's basically open-minded, a process of finding a new way. That is not your way, that is not my way, a higher way, our way. So that is called synergy. For example, there is different European countries. When we try to separate the France, Italy, and Germany from European Union, many problems are happen. Many things are changed in their countries. They use the same resources but give us a little output. But when they combine together as a European Union, they use same resources but give us a double output, which shown in their education, in their laws, in their economy. That is example of synergy, which shows that when two minds work together, they produce a new ideas, they produce a new way, they produce a new opportunity, which is the synergy, which is not a your way, not a my way, but a better way, a higher way. Just like that plant, when we grow the plant in a very distance, the result is that their roots are very weak. They're not able to grow properly. But when we grow the plant near to each other, their roots combine together, they put combined effort and they grow very well. That is also a simple example of synergy. Another example of synergy is a song. Let's suppose a song. When we make a song, we use different instrument. So when we use these instruments separately, we can't make a song properly. But when we use the musical part, musical instrument, putting together, we create a song that has much more dramatic effect than each of the instrument played individual. So that is another simple example of synergy. Next slide. Next slide, please. Okay. Here is a difference between what is synergy and what is not a synergy. So first point is celebrating differences. What does it mean? Celebrating differences mean you value the differences. You take the differences as an advantage, not as a weakness. You believe that if two different people think differently, can achieve more than two people who think alike. For example, जैसे कि अगर हम अपनी कंट्री की बात करें तो फॉर एग्जांपल कि टू पर्सन है और दोनों डिफरेंट प्रोविंस से बिलोंग करते हैं, वन फ्रॉम पंजाब एंड वन फ्रॉम केपीके. जब वो मिलते हैं वो एक दूसरे से अपने आइडियाज शेयर करते हैं, वो एक दूसरे से अपने एक्सपीरियंस शेयर करते हैं, क्योंकि वो दोनों डिफरेंट प्रोविंस से बिलोंग कर रहे हैं, उनका कल्चर डिफरेंट है, उनकी थिंकिंग डिफरेंट है. तो जब वो आपस में मिलेंगे वो डिफरेंट आइडियाज शेयर करेंगे, डिफरेंट एक्सपीरियंस शेयर करेंगे. सो वी शुड ट्राई टू टेक दिस डिफरेंसेस एज एडवांटेज, नॉट एज अ वीकनेस, which is called celebrating difference. It's not necessary to agree with these differences, but should try to value them. So this is called the celebrating differences, which is synergy. Tolerating differences means believe that those person that believe that everyone has a right to be different. Their mentality show that you don't bother me and I won't bother you. They see differences as a hurdle. They see differences as a weakness, not as a strength, not as an advantage. So this is the tolerating differences. Next is teamwork. टीमवर्क, जैसे कि मैंने पीछे एग्जांपल दी, मिस्टर अली एंड मिस्टर बिलाल, when both of them working independently, the result is 4 unit, but when they work together, they put combined effort, the result is more than the 4, the result is more than the arithmetic sum, which is the teamwork. Synergy is basically name of teamwork. अगर हम अपने इस सेशन की बात करें, इसमें डिफरेंट ग्रुप्स हैं, डिफरेंट ग्रुप्स में डिफरेंट मेंबर्स हैं, हर मेंबर अपना आइडिया शेयर करता है, हर मेंबर अपनी एक्सपीरियंस शेयर करता है, हर मेंबर डिफरेंट सोर्सेज से प्रेजेंटेशन प्रिपेयर करता है, दैट इज कॉल्ड टीम वर्क. अगर हम ग्रुप 6 की बात करें, अब हम इसमें 3 मेंबर्स हैं, हमने डिफरेंट सोर्सेज से अपनी प्रेजेंटेशन प्रिपेयर की, अपने अपने पार्ट की, अब हम जब उसको कंबाइन करेंगे तो वो ज्यादा आउटपुट देगी बनिस्बत उसके कि अगर एक ही पर्सन इसको प्रिपेयर करता तो. So that is called teamwork, that is synergy. On the other hand, working independently is not a synergy. Same in the case when Mr. Ali and Mr. Bilal working independently in as an individual in a whole day, they give us a result which is 4 unit. But when they work as a teamwork, they give us a result more than the 4. So this is the synergy. This is the differentiate between the teamwork and working independently. Next one is open-minded. It's called synergy, and thinking you are always right is not a synergy. Open-minded means, open-minded are those people who understanding, who appreciating the other person, who understanding, who appreciating the culture, the tradition, the ideas, the experience of other people, of other communities. So these are open-minded people. The open-minded people are those people who don't care to be right, to be wrong. They care to understand. There is never right or wrong. This is never a right or wrong answer. Everything is about understanding. So these are open-minded people. For example, when I'm working in a group at classroom, I'm study any subject in a group at classroom, I listen to the ideas of all members in group. I consider how other people, how other group members have different ideas than me, can also be right. So this is the open-minded people. Next one is thinking you're always right means close-minded people. Close-minded people are those people that always tell you what they light chali gayi yahan. Okay, so close-minded people are those people that always tell you that what they know either is wrong or right. They don't want to understand the things. They cannot implement the new ideas, new experience. They also not allowing their mind to accept the new ideas, to accept the new experience. They always show that they are right and everyone is wrong. That is close-minded people, which is not a synergy. The open-minded people who show that there are also other people who have different ideas, which is better than me. They also accept their mind. They also align their mind to accept the ideas of other people. That is synergy. Next one is finding new and better ways. Finding new and better ways mean, and it is synergy, and synergy is not compromise. जैसे कि पीछे मैंने जिक्र किया था two heads are better than one. When two heads work together, the result is better than one. Synergy is basically the name of finding a new and better ways. Okay, so when we work together, when we put a combined effort, we are able to finding a new and better way. But when we are tolerating the differences, when we can't celebrate the differences as an advantage, when we can't take the differences as value, as advantage, we are focusing the working independently. We are always thinking that I am right and you are wrong. Then we go toward the compromise. That is not a synergy. So this is from my part. Now I would like to invite Miss Faiza for presenting the remaining part. So Faiza, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you. So, Assalamu alaikum, everyone. My name is Faiza Khan, and I'm doing a bachelor's in software engineering. So, moving forward to the topic, as we know that whole is greater than the sum of its part. Two brains working in one team is always greater than two brains working in an individual team. So, by working together, we can achieve more. So, basically, there are two types of synergy: positive synergy and negative synergy. Positive synergy is throwing selfishness and start thinking about teamwork instead of working individually. Negative synergy is working with selfishness and thinking about your own self. So next question is how to produce the positive synergy. In this case, we should seek first to understand and then to be understood. Positive synergy can be achieved by win-to-win condition. It cannot be achieved by win to lose, lose to win, or lose to lose condition. So for example, as shown in the slides, there are two cases. In the first case, there is no synergy. Two people have difference in thinking and they are not valuing each other differences. It is creating a chaos among these two. In the second case, as we can see, there are two people having the same differences, but they are valuing each other differences. So together they can achieve more. So it is really very important to value the differences. Next slide. So if two horses can pull among 9,000 pounds, how many pounds four horses can pull? So the arithmetic response is
तुम नहीं करोगे वो तुम्हें करना पड़ेगा बट फ्रेंड्स तुम्हें खुद बनाने पड़ेंगे फ्रेंड्स नहीं बनेंगे आई डोंट नो आई मीन
so arithmetic response is 18,000. But it's wrong. Four horses can actually pull up to 30,000 pounds. It's basically this energy that makes the differences. So when we trust and open up to each other, we can achieve more by learning from each other experience. It is basically this energy that makes the differences because together we can achieve more. So this is from my side. Next slide.
Hello, Assalamu alaikum. My name is Tabish Aziz. Am I audible to all of you? Hello.
Yes,
Yes.
Tavish, you are. Yes.
So, Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. I'm going to start my topic and my part with the name of Allah. So, the first thing I'm assigned is synergistic effect. The synergistic effect. So, wait, before explaining, let me introduce myself. So, my name is Tabish Aziz. I'm doing my matriculation from Aga Khan Higher Secondary School, in Gilgit, and I'm currently a high school senior. And so I'm here to, and do social work as a part time with my friends through writing and just some on a short level, on a small level, I help people do their uh, jobs a bit more effectively through dialogue. So and so starting with my presentation, the first thing is about synergy. let me tell you some things about synergy. Synergy is an innovation among people. It's an opportunity created by people themselves, which they have in between them when they talk to each other in a certain way. They have a certain vibe going on when they're talking, or then when they're interacting. That is called synergy. And synergy needs the cooperation of two or more people, even if they have different perspectives or different ideas. So I can give you an example of synergy in our daily lives, as in our classroom. Like, I'm a student right now, so I have classes going on right now, and I have to interact with my teachers, with my fellows, and my colleagues at the same time as I study. So the fact about synergizing in my daily routine is I interact with my fellows in my school. So while I'm interacting with them, I'm having a certain tone in my speech. I'm having a certain body language. I'm having a different vibe while talking to different people. Like, I have a different vibe with somebody else, and there's a different vibe with somebody else in the classroom. Like, it's not the same. That is called synergy. Synergy is the bridge which connects two people to achieve a certain goal or a certain uh, perspective. So the thing is, like in this example, which you can see right now, is in this picture there is a tree which has one apple, but there are a lot of people, and they are not tall enough to grab it by themselves. But when they synergize, like when they communicate with each other, when they cooperate and they help each other, they actually get to the top and get the apple. So what they did here is a big brain thing. They synergized. Synergizing, as in they helped each other, they understood people in front of them, they understood before understanding, they understood before making the person in front of them understand, and they canceled their differences. They helped each other in a formal and a more ethical way. So they synergized. So synergizing can help people on a big level when they are trying to achieve something, when they work in groups, when they work in pairs or in a bigger amount of people. They achieve far more greater goals than they could ever achieve while doing the process solo. So they can't achieve more than uh, working in a group. So the next slide, please. I have another slide. So while doing the while achieving a goal, they have to interact with each other, which comes in synergistic communication. Synergistic communication is the opening of your mind and soul and heart to the person in front of you. It seeks for new possibilities. It wants you to be open with your soul. Like, it needs you to be open. You can't be closed and preservative or conservative in a conversation if you want to have synergy in between. So you have to be clear. You have to be ready for the end product. You have to be anticipating what can end and what can happen in the whole process, and you have to be ready. Thing is that you have to synergize. You want to synergize, and if you want to synergize, you need communication skills. And to communicate, you need some good types good ways that you can make the person in front of you understand while understanding him in the first place. So I'll give you an example. When you can synergize while communicating is that you have to understand the guy in front of you. That comes in valuing differences. As Stephen Covey in this book himself, he talked about valuing differences of the person in front of you. Even if he has different perspectives, different ideas, he will he will try to convince you to believe in his ideas, in his perspectives. But you have to do one thing here. You have to understand him in the first place. You have to value his difference. You have to value his opinion. You have to tell him that he matters, his what he said matters. And then after you say that, they will a certain vibe will come out. Like, it will come out of you, and you both will start understanding each other a bit more effectively. You will talk a bit more clear. You will be a bit more friendly, and that makes you clear about your goal. You can easily talk to each other uh, if you want to share your goals or share your common ground, like it gives you a common ground. Okay, it gives you a base, it gives you a point where you both can actually agree on. So synergistic communication is a really big, really big part in synergizing with the person in front of you and succeeding in life as well. S- uh, so the next slide, please. Can I get the next slide? So the conclusion, I would like to end this my presentation with a quote of Stephen Covey himself. He said, like, synergy means two heads are better than one. Synergy is the habit of creative cooperation. It is teamwork, open mindedness, and the adventure of finding new solutions to all problems. In this sentence, in this piece of writing, he says that two heads are better than one, which really means that more people means more productivity and more yield. So when you are working in groups, you will have more pair, you will have more products, you will have more ideas, and you will have different angles to see the world. You will see the world with different angles, you will see the world with new ideas, you will know what the other person sees. Like, if you grew in a Catholic background, you wouldn't know the principles of the Muslim people. And when you like actually synergize, when you talk to Muslim people, and if you're a Muslim, you haven't talked to Christian people yet, but when you both talk, you interact, you will know different kinds of perspectives. You will know what the Christian guy thinks or what the Muslim guy thinks. Or even if you talk about the example my fellow gave, which was one guy from Punjab and one guy from KPK. They don't have the similar culture. They have different cultures. So when they actually cooperate and when they actually talk, they have different mindsets. They have different values. They have different principles. But when they really interact with each other, they will share what they have in mind. They will talk to each other, and they will sort out some disputes which were like there for like a really old time, because they are actually understand each other. They are synergizing. They will understand each other on a different level than one can understand the other while being conservative. So to continue the quotation, it doesn't just happen on its own. It's a process, and through that process, people bring all their personal experience and expertise on the table. So the point here he made is that it takes time. The worst thing people can really imagine is that it is slow. Time is the biggest fear in this whole process. Time cannot go according to what you think or what you want to happen, but it will go on its own pace. So we have to be patient, we have to understand, and we have to accept the truth, and we have to be a bit more realistic. And when we really wait, and when we really like, this is a really great opportunity, because the more time, it means that you have more time with the person in front of you to understand more and more. The more time will be equal to like, for example, if you give time to some certain assignment more than you have given than your friend, you will have a better presentation than the other guy. So the fact here is that it's a process, it takes time, and people have their own expertise. They will work on, they will have more time to explain or present their expertise to the person in front of them. If it took a little, like if it went according to what you think, it went, so it would not be a bit more open like than the normal. So the thing I wanted to tell here, that it takes time. It is a slow process. It does not happen on its own. It needs you to be the main character and the protagonist, and you have to make it happen. So while continuing, together they can produce far better results than they could individually. Synergy lets us discover jointly things we are much less likely to discover by ourselves. It is the idea that the whole is greater than the sum of its parts. 1 plus 1 equals 3, or 6, or 62, or 90, you name. So the fact here is that when one or more people, I've said this before and I'll say it again, that when one or more people cooperate and work together while synergizing, they will have a bigger end product. They will have a bigger yield. They will have different kinds of angles to see the world. They will have bigger opportunities. They will find their objectives really clear. They will have more really there is a really vast amount of advantages they have when they are synergizing while working together. But if you are working alone, you won't have that those angles you could have had while talking to people who had different uh, opinions and mindsets, but you were working alone. And keeping that in mind, you would not have the best presentation or the best end product as the people who were working in pairs or working in groups. So talking about the end product, as I said, 1 plus 1 equals 3 or 6 or 6 to etc. So this really means that you will have a bigger amount of yield than the sum of your um, participants. Like if you have, for example, I'll give you an example of Stephen Covey gave in this book. He talked about a couple. Okay, there were two people. They believed that they did not have the synergy in between to make it happen, but after some time they had children. Okay, they were not aware of that factor that they really had children that synergized in that part. So when they realized that they had children, the fact that the couple were two people, okay, they did not believe they had synergy, but at the end they had two children as well. So 1 plus 1 equaled four people. Like the family had four in the end, starting from two, as 1 and 1 equals 2, and they ended up with four. So this is a real life example. And to end this session with you all, so I would like to thank everybody, especially Sir Anwar and other participants and my colleagues, and thank you for listening. Yeah, I hope I did not have any internet connection problems, because I really have those.
Thank you so much,
So thank you.
Tabish. Such a great presentation. So basically, you mentioned synergy, you mentioned everything very clear. So I would like to add some points regarding the features of synergy, like how to create synergies in our real lives. So first of all, I would like to say that for synergy, we have to build high quality connections. As in the previous class of global citizen here, my instructor told me that you have to build high quality connections in order to have synergy imposed in your life. So for creating high quality connections, firstly, you have to create a mutuality. You can say mutuality is basically when you engage with one another to collaborate with each other, to exchange the ideas. So that's how you gonna get energized and you're gonna work for your goal. And the second thing is positive regard. Like you see the best in the other person, you don't compromise with her or his abilities. You see he's also best and you both work together. So basically it is a team up. Like when you said that the synergy is basically a team up. So while you are doing a team up, it's basically an exchange of minds, exchange of ideas through which you can have a more greater result and a better result. And when you are teaming up, you are basically energized. You feel like that your aliveness, your validity is there, and you are more there to collaborate with each other, to present the ideas, and to listen to one another. So really thanks for Group 6 for presenting such a wonderful presentation, and it was really a great session. Now I would call upon Saranur Khan to give his feedback regarding today's session and regarding the add-up of ideas through of synergy. Saranur, can you hear me?
Yes. So first of all, I will say, wow, amazing. All the presentation was such a great presentation that when I was going through some of the presentation I missed and some I was attended. So you guys now start a 7 habits training program in entire Pakistan or around the world and make a like a virtual training package and offer to the different levels in the youth and others. And maybe you can sit down together and review all your presentation you have developed and come up with a joint presentation and start a like a training program and offer virtual training or whatever the way. you want to help the youth around. So that will be great. So, and I'm looking forward to see something like that. This is again, this example of Synergize. Whatever you guys are doing, it is a great example of Synergize. But before I say anything, anyone else in the team want to share anything before I start talking? If not, then let's start with the couple things that you guys discussed. First of all, I want to share this 1+1 that Noor was talking. First of all, Noor, Faiza, and Tabish, you guys did a great job. Congratulations. And I'm really, every time when I listen to you guys, and some of them are in high school, some of them recently in the college, and the way your thought process is, the way you present the presentation, the way the data you are collecting the data and presenting, it is awesome. It doesn't look like that this is a school or college level presentation. It looks like some professional presentation is coming forward. So really, you guys are amazing. So regarding synergy, I just want to say 1+1. I will just, since we already discussed a lot on this topic, but I will just want to share one thing to you, and maybe you can have some examples in your daily life. So I think Noor was talking about, and she says an example, 1+1 can be 11. So I just want to emphasize in this one that maybe you know someone in your family, you know someone in your team, you know someone in your school, you know someone in your society or community or in college, that when those 2-3 people, kids, cousins, friends, when they join together, their performance is even better than 11 people's. And 11 people's cannot make that much outcome or that much like impact that these 2-3 peoples are jointly working and making the impact. But you have another example, even in your family, in the community, that there's a big family of 15 cousins, and their impact is in negative. Because whenever they join together to do something, and they always fight with each other, they have a different way to move forward. So ultimately, the result is that even you have a group of people, but since you don't have an understanding, you don't have a vision, then what happened that you don't get the synergize part of it, and then the impact and outcome is obviously go in the other direction. One one other thing that Daniel, that you mentioned at the end regarding the connection. So that is a, in the center, to be a good synergized person, you have to have a person of influence. And this is another training, maybe I cannot say that when we start. So how to become a person of influence. Basically, the leadership is influence, nothing more, nothing less. So as much as you have the influence, you can be, your size of the leadership will grow with that. The question is that what type of influence we're talking about? So it may be positive, it may be negative. So even say, for example, I am a gangster and I run like 50 youth are under me, and I can do anything in my town. It doesn't matter. Nobody can stand in front of me. I have influence, but I'm not talking about that influence. I'm talking about influence that is positive influence. So we'll talk a little bit more on that. So this time, what I will do, that so far, whatever you guys have done. So let's go back and look at the summary of the thing, and then I'll ask some questions to you guys, and then we can go from there. So first of all, again, I really, the best way I can say that you guys rock. And when I started this, initially, my thought process was that we'll do a training, and then I changed my mind. The reason I changed my mind that I want to nurture my team, my mastermind. So nurture means that I should not feed you all the things, but I should just provide you some basic information, knowledge, resources, and then you can come up with your ideas, with your research, with your teamwork, with your synergize activities, with your own like a personal network, and then share your thought process. And I am happy, and I want to share with this that even if I train you these 7 habits, maybe I should not have covered all those things that you covered individually in different trainings. So you guys did a better job than me. I can tell you that. So congratulations for that. So now coming back to habits. So I just want to give you a summary. Habit 1 to 3 deals with self-mastery. Always remember that you have to start from yourself. So habit 1 to 3, we already discussed habit 1 to 3, and I will just go through a couple important things on that. But habit 1 to 3 is self-mastery. And what is self-mastery is private victories. So there is a difference between private victories and public victories. So the 4, 5, 6 is basically a public victory. But I'm talking about at this moment, 1 to 3 is private victories. It means that you know, nobody else may know. If you look at either habit number 1 or 2 or 3, you are the only one who know that how good you are. So in habit 1 and habit 2 and habit 3, so as you will be getting stronger and stronger in those first 3 habits, you will be improving a private victory. It means that you're basically you are developing belief and faith on yourself, and this will help you to go for habit 4, 5, and 6, and and then that is deals with the teamwork, cooperation, communication. And obviously habit 7, which we are going to discuss next week, is basically a continuous improvement, that even we learn private victories, we learn public victories. Now, how we will continue to improve it, how we'll make sure that we are doing better and better every day. So, so coming back to some of the thought process, some of the questions, and some of the things. So let's talk about proactive. So the test, which maybe next week or week after, will give you a written test to have your certification. Some of the questions maybe it will be asked you, and this will be a live test during this, so you can answer immediately online or whatever the best way we can. We can come up with a Google Sheet, something like that. So I can give you a good example here. That when I ask you that, are you proactive? Most of you will answer yes. Then the next question is that how you think that you are proactive? What qualities you have are you going to add that feel you comfortable that you are proactive? And then you the other part of this the same proactive is that can you difference between the things that you can influence and you cannot, and then start thinking about some other things, like how proactive are you in your studies, in your job, in your daily life, So if you have a clear picture of yourself, that's why I call private victory. That if you have a very clear picture and you have a good understanding of proactive, then you know that what qualities I need. It may be there are 15 different qualities that need to be proactive, but I'm talking about myself at this moment. It's my personal, my private. So what qualities I need to be proactive, what I already have, what I need to add, and also how proactive I am in my family, in my studies, if you're doing a job, in my job, or in daily life, it doesn't matter. So if you have answered these questions, then you can understand that you are in a better place and you have a better understanding of proactive. If you go to the next habit, begin with the end in mind. This is another thing that if you are a proactive, it means that you are planning things, you are dreaming things, you are doing some strategies. It doesn't matter. It may be your personal life, your family life, your studies, your future goal, or your religion, or your health, your exercise. It may be in different places. But are you beginning with the end in mind? That where you want to go, how it looks like when you achieve this? So based on that, you have to define your principles. And it's like mission statement or goals or objectives in different part of it. So if you have not developed these things, then you have to look at that and think back again that if I'm a proactive, then proactive are the people who basically think ahead. Proactive are the people who plans. Proactive are the people who actually dream and then strategically analyze and then pick a schedule or whatever you name it. To do those things, you have to start with end in mind. And then look at that being proactive, what are your objectives, what are your goals? And then end in mind means that what your end mission or objective or goal is. And then when you have all those two aligned, then we go to the third habit and put fasting first. Now you start looking at all those things that you have been planned. Let's start with your personal life or family life or education, whatever you pick it. So you already be proactive, you have a dream, you have a strategic planning, you know that, okay, this is your 1 year, 5 year, 3 year plan, this is the way you want to move forward. And then you have a very clear understanding that what is your end goal looks like, and you have a roadmap, how to go there and all those things. Now look at the third habit, put the things first, put first thing first. So what does this mean? It means that now you have everything in front of you, but now you have to look at that what is the most important thing that need to be addressed first, and then accordingly we need to move forward. So say for example, if you're looking at your studies, so you have a strategy, you have a planning, you have a goal, and now you need to think about that. Okay, what are the most important thing to achieve that goal? And then you can align yourself accordingly. So technically, these three habits can give you a very good understanding of your personal or private success or achievement. Even nobody knows about this. Nobody even even you don't need to talk about that how you're going to do, what you're going to do. This is your space. You are playing with your space. You are getting yourself better and better day by day, because you know that this is your private space and you want to improve this. And then, but before we go further, like fourth and fifth and sixth habit, I just want to add one other thing under proactive. So say, for example, sometime what happened that when I want to be proactive, but normally there are a couple things that people start thinking, and maybe you have heard, you have read in Covey's book also, that sometimes we think that this is a genetic problem in my family, and my father, my mother has come from my father and father, that I have this deficiency, or I have this like extra, you can say, strength. So this is my genetic gift coming from my family. It may be positive, it may be negative, but I don't have any control on that. So this is one thing. The second thing is that psychic determination. Then when you start growing up in your childhood, and the way your parents will upbringing you, and your childhood experience, that also start molding you in a different way. So it may be another example of can go in positive and negative. And the third thing is then environment. Environment, it means that when you are getting involved with the community, in the school, in the college, the peers, pressure, and other responsible factors, either it is due to political reason or any reason. So all those things basically changing you from uh, from in a scale from 1 to 10. But always remember that be proactive. You can change anything. Whatever I have told you earlier, you can change anything until unless, or I rephrase that, you can change anything if you know that to be proactive, what change I need to make in my behavior, in my attitude, in my dealing, in my decisions, in my planning, in my activities, and improving my integrity, and there are a lot of different things. So, and the other thing is that very important, again, in the same habit one, is the circle of concern and circle of influence. So this is you guys talked a lot on that circle of influence, circle of concern, and everybody is very easy to understand. But the one thing that I just want to emphasize here, and just one comment, that when you start, it may be your circle of influence is a dot in a bigger circle, that is circle of concern. But I can assure you that as soon as you will start focusing on your circle of influence, those things that you have control, your circle of influence will start growing and growing. And then your circle of concern will be shrinking. So if you look at the history of the people, and most highly effective people, if you look at their history, you will see that where they started and how they expanded their circle of influence. This is one of the thing that I was talking to you, maybe the next training sometime it would be to become person of influence. So this is very important thing that you should be remember. And this is also, it comes to our same number one habit is proactive. And again, so when you understand circle of concern and circle of influence, then you will be clearly identified that what are the things that is in our direct control or indirect control or no control. So direct control, maybe all of you understand that anything. Let's talk about the problems. When we say direct controls, means that problems involving or on behavior. So there are a lot of things that is happening due to my behavior, due to my attitude, due to my communication method, due to my body language, due to the way I treat people, either in the family, in the home. So this is direct control. I can, anytime I can fix it. I can improve it. I can make a difference in those. Indirect control is basically problems involving the behavior of others. That is indirect control. And no controls means that problems, we cannot do anything. One of the biggest examples is our past. If we have done something wrong, we don't have any control to go and fix that. Or there are something that is happening around you. It may be weather, it may be politics, it may be other things that is happening, and maybe you don't have any control on that. But the first and second, direct, indirect, direct is again, it belongs to our first three habits. Indirect control, you can improve those if you master on the next three habits. So when you have master on next three habits, so even if something that is not directly related to you, but related to someone else, but if you know the habit 5, 6, 4, 5, and 6, you can start controlling that. And last thing about first habit is that if you don't have anything in those 7 habits, if you just focus on this proactive, I think that will be one of the biggest achievement you can get. And I will just quickly summarize the second habit, and then we'll go from some questions answer. Sorry, 3 habits, and then we'll go some questions answers. So habit number 2 is begin with the end in mind. And I don't want to go in very detail, begin with end in mind. And the presentation you guys did, that was an excellent presentation, I can tell you that. That was one of the good presentations. And but one thing is that is very important, and as I told you earlier, and this is not just for your project, your dream, your goal. This is something else also. So say, for example, you have a problem with your sibling, or maybe your mom is mad on you, or maybe your father is not talking to you. So be proactive. Now you start planning that how I can fix that relationship. Maybe you develop a criteria, you develop a strategy that I will do this, I will go and hug my mother, I will say sorry, I will do this. Yes, that's good. It's proactive approach. You're doing very good. But did you think about the second habit? Start with the end in mind. That what is the end results you want to see after that? You have to think that. So even you are planning very well, you have very good strategy, but you didn't have an end result in your mind. The end result maybe my mother hugs back and she say to me, I love you, son. I love you, daughter. You're always close to me. And something else, or maybe she put her hand on my face, on my head, and kisses me, or whatever it is. So you have to come up with the end in mind, that what you want to see at the end. So it can be in any situation. I will just give you an example. So that's why I'm saying that when some people are very smart, they are very good and very proactive. They plan things very well. They have strategies. They have everything, all the resources, our pipeline, but they don't have the end results. They have not a very clear picture that when everything is finished and when everything is done, what is the outcome and impact they're looking forward? What type of the end results they are looking for? So this is the reason that the second habit is very important. And talking to second habit, I will just add one quick thing here, that when I started this first training regarding the goal, regarding the dream. So when I started the second training, I was thinking about that I should do this the same way which I did the first training, and then, but my dream or my like approach or my plan was different. My plan was not that I was just coming here as an instructor, a mentor, a teacher, or a speaker and teach you and talk to you. My dream, my vision was basically that everybody in the team, in this mastermind group, will be a speaker, will be a teacher, will be a mentor. Like we are creating more leaders, more mentors. So basically what I'm doing, that I am multiplying my like work in 10 folds, 15 folds, 20 folds. So maybe that's why, as I told earlier, that maybe next time you guys are training in different forms, different places, different groups. So this is my vision and goal. So this is one of the things that I was thinking, that the end result should be that obviously you will learn a lot of different things, but at the same time, you should be trained yourself as a trainer or as a teacher or the mentor. And hopefully next time, if any training is going to be happen, Anwar is no more needed. MashaAllah, this Gilgit mastermind group can handle those trainings. So this is one of my vision, my thought I just want to share. This is one of my dream. This is my like something that was that I start with this thought process. And this is one of the reasons that I told you guys that you did an awesome job. You did a great job, and my dream come true actually. That's why I will say that. So coming back to the third habit, first thing first, and this is the last habit which I'm going to discuss today due to time constraint. So in this habit, I don't want to talk about third or fourth quadrant. We have discussed a lot, but I want to share a couple of things just to remind and refresh. And I know that you guys did a good job on this quadrant explanation, all those things, but I just want to emphasize. And again, coming back to the same link, first of all, you look at that being you create yourself as a proactive person, proactive human being, proactive son, a daughter, teacher, or work like employee or a student. And then you have you know that, okay, what I need to do, and you have something in mind, that being a son, being a daughter, what should be the best daughter I can be, and how I should be a best son, or how should be a best like a citizen of our community or part of our community, whatever it is. And then when you move to the third quadrant, then you start looking at that where I am putting my time. always remember that it doesn't matter how proactive you are, it doesn't matter how you have a dream and you have a very clear picture that what you want to do and you have something in mind. But if you are not planning your timing, then unfortunately you will not able to get yourself there where you are thinking about. So this is one of the reasons that I'm talking these two quadrants very quickly, and then we'll go for general discussion. In quadrant one, and just for that, we normally deal with problem, crisis, deadline, activities, or maybe past due things, or last minute preparation, or assignment, or important uh, immediate calls, meetings, firefightings, and corrective actions. Corrective action means that something went wrong and now you have to fix that. So this is quadrant one, and this is a natural quadrant. It is not possible you to get out of this quadrant because there will be something always there, but you can reduce it. And how can you reduce it? If you can focus more on quadrant two. So, and one of the biggest difference in these two quadrants is that in quadrant one, it is visible. You can see, you can feel, you can touch, you can show. But in quadrant two, is mostly is invisible. It is something about future. Something is not happening immediately. Something it is in the pipeline. So always remember that urgent matters are usually visible and they need immediate actions. But the important matters that belongs to our vision, mission, and all those things, they are normally is not very visible. So that is the biggest difference. So one other thing that I just want to share in this discussion in quadrant two, what we talk about, like long-term planning, relationship development. Always remember again that relationship development is basically a very strong in quadrant two. So say, for example, if you want to be a politician, if you want to be a businessman, if you want to be XYZ, and you need to look at that based on your mission and goals, and then you have to develop relationship building. And based on that, you can start your planning. So this is also quadrant two. In quadrant two also that you get some coaching, you get some mentoring, you do some mentoring, you get some training. So these are the quadrant two. Say, for example, I have a problem with speaking, or you have a problem in writing, or you have a problem with something. So in quadrant two, you should know that what are your skills you're good at, what are the skills that you need to develop, and spend some time, get some training, get some mentoring, have some professional development. Continue your education, not only just general education, but maybe soft skills and all those things. And start preventive actions. The difference between corrective and preventive actions is that corrective actions when something went wrong and then you fix it. Preventive action means that before it fails, you fix it. So you have to understand these two. And same way in quadrant two, we talk about ourselves, our you can say physical activities, strategies, our soul nursing activities. And always remember that you also, in quadrant two, you also plan to spend time with your family and friends and relationship. Just think about that this is also should be plan of your life, that how you are spending with time with your family. Try to make a difference in the people who are surrounded by you, who are next to you, maybe your family, your brother, your sister, your mother, father. Assign some time with them also. So I'm stopping here because it is, otherwise I can continue for a little bit longer. But I'm open for any question, or any one of you wants to add anything on that. So please, and then 4th, 5th, and 6th, maybe we'll talk sometime when we are having the testing or all other things. Yes, I'm open.
Sir, can I ask?
Yeah, go ahead, please.
So, first of all, thank you, sir, for giving me a chance to ask my question. So, my question is that as we learned that synergy is to gather people and to work like a team for positive, uh, as I as I understand. So, like as we are living in a democratic country, so there are politicians. So, like the politicians are doing good, or what type of like they are working doing? They are like synergized people, or what type of people they are? Can elaborate them like before they are like successful, they like they do a different like work, but after they like they act in a different way. So can
So how are you done with your question?
yeah, sir. It
Okay.
was my question.
So your question is very interesting. And I'm also looking forward that anybody from this group can respond back. But from my side, if you remember that I told you that when we are talking about synergize or leadership, we talk about influence. So you have to be a person of influence. And person of influence maybe is different way. So I can give you some examples so you can understand that what I'm talking about. When you become a person of influence and you want to create synergy, you can be different people in different scenario, or maybe you can be your style will be different. So one type of people will be like the people who force you to do something. So you have to follow. So as for example, you know, a lot of different groups, different gangs, different things. So they don't have any option to say no to anyone. So there is a one way is that follow by fear, then follow by position, then follow by status, then follow by some other reason. So these are all influence in like example of influence, but these are not a positive influence. The positive influence is that people who love to follow you. They're not forced to follow you. They're not bound to follow you. So as for example, I'm the president of a company, and if everybody is following me because I'm a president of the company, it means that I'm not a leader. I'm not the person of influence. I am the person of influence when whatever I say I want my team to do, they love to do that. They feel part of that, like my vision, my goal, my objective. So this is the difference. So normally when you talk about the political leadership and the follower, so those are a little bit different. The entire community may be divided in different groups. Some people really love them, follow. Some people have no understanding. They even don't know. So say for example, some people like Shah Rukh Khan. I'm just giving an example. Why? Because he's a very famous actor. He is very smart, this and that. But maybe 99% of the people who love Shah Rukh Khan, they don't know about Shah Rukh Khan. that what type of man he is, what actually his strength, what is his weakness, is he really a leader, is his really a personal influence, do we really need to follow him? So these are a lot of different examples. So maybe I try to explain it that when you talk about the political leaders, they cannot be considered as the personal influence in this category which we are talking about. But in some cases, they may be, but I'm not sure about everyone. Yes, anyone else can want to share?
I think, sir, Wahab's question is much related to my area. So basically, we can say that the influence of people, like they are not understanding their real leaders, they are not bringing up. So basically, in Wahab's area, the politicians are usually like they force people to come and join their parties and toward them. So there's a negative influence on the area also, and also regarding the constructions, regarding the school buildings and stuff like that. So because of bringing some people by force, they are going to the vote stations. So I think that this really influences negatively regarding the people also. I think, Wahab, you got the answer from Saranur Khan, and you can ask if you are not.
Yeah, Daniel, and Sanwar Khan, thank you very much for you like you have elaborated, or you give us such answer that I am almost like 90% satisfied with your answer. So Daniel, but yeah, you are right. Like the same situation is with our area. So thank you. Like I am satisfied and I got the point.
So I can add one quick comment here, Wahab, since it is specific to your area. So now look at your circle of influence. So now you say that, sir, I'm a small boy and maybe 19 years old, and what I can do? I don't have anything to do. I cannot impact the people around me. So, so this is something that we need to start thinking about. That you have some concern. So this is now your circle of concern at this moment. That your leadership is not good. Your leadership is not the right people. I'm just giving you an example. I may be wrong, but it may be your concern that leadership is not good. Leadership is not like faithful. Leadership is not the people they should be in the place. This is your circle of concern, and if you are trying to focus on your circle of concern, then it may not resolve the issue. So what you need to do different. Now look at your circle of influence. That how you can make a difference. If you start looking at that, there are a couple things that you can just start thinking. And you guys, mashallah, more smarter than me, especially when we're talking about the politics in Pakistan. I don't have a lot of like understanding there at this moment, because I'm almost away 30 years from them, from that place. So, but what you should look like? That what are the things that I can change? I can make a difference. So first thing is that can we make a group of youth that can helping the people of our society or community? And then when you start making a group of just 5 and 10 people, 10 kids, 10 youth, they start working with the local community, cleaning the streets, helping the widows, or the orphans, or community development programs and all those things. And slowly and gradually, those leadership will always try to connect with you guys. Hey, I want to talk to you, who you guys doing, all those things. Then slowly and gradually, what you will do, that you will be expanding your circle of influence, and more people will joining hand with us. And then you will be, maybe one day, you will be have an opportunity to talk to your leadership and tell them that, sir, we want to share something. You guys do a lot of things good, but there are a couple things if you can do this way, it will be very helpful for all of us. But when they will listen to you, then when your circle of influence is a little bit bigger. So I will just give you one quick example here, and I will in this topic. One of my manager in my General Motors, when I working with General Motors, and she was my senior manager, and she was very excellent, very smart, very how you can say uh, fast forwarding type of woman. Fast forwarding means that she plan ahead, she work alcoholic, so she's very good. But the only problem was that she has very rough treatment with the people. So if you do a mistake, she will shout on you. She will be make you feel bad in front of maybe 50 people. It doesn't matter how many people are there. So she will shout on you and all those things. So what I was doing, that I was normally preparing all her presentation and everything, this and that. I was trying to help her time to time more and more. So I was very close to her, and whenever she actually depending on me on most of her presentation and her discussion and all those things. So one day I came to her and I told her, her name was Linda. I told her, Linda, I want to talk to you, and maybe you don't like me, and maybe you can fire me from my job. So she started laughing and she says, why you're telling me that? So I said, because I'm talking something about you. So she actually never have experience like that, that someone, because everybody is feared with her. And I was the only one who was talking to her in front of her about her personal life or personal behaviors. But anyhow, making the story short, so I spent 5 or 6 minutes. I told her that what are the area that she's an excellent woman. She's an excellent leader. She's an excellent manager. What she did one of the best way, and she's a role model. But what are the area that if she can make it better, the people will start loving her. People will still like her, but people will start loving her. And these are the 3 areas, if you can say. And then I explained her everything. And I was expecting that maybe that will be the last day of my work and she's going to fire me. But you will surprised to know that the things have changed. From next day, she changed. Her face was always with the smiling attitude and all those things. So how it happens? Because I make myself in such a way, I am getting closer to her because I'm helping her, I'm employing all the things that need, and I make my influence, circle of influence bigger and bigger. And then I was in a point that I can easily talk to her about this. And she actually thanked me in writing for this, that Anwar, and then you actually showed me some of my faces that I never seen myself. So I just want to stop here because it's almost our time. So Daniel.
Sure, sir. Thank you so much, sir, for such nice comments and such nice feedback. So basically, when we talk about leadership, we need a mentor, we need an instructor, and a complete course. So that which will guide us to be a person of influence in our life. And me and Fatima are with the Global Citizen Year Academy. So basically, what they are doing is they are teaching us the pillars of life like the belonging, purpose, transcendence. They're teaching us. We have separate mentors, one-to-one mentors. We get meetings with them like how to build our purpose and meaning in life. So it's basically a 3-month course and we are going through it. There are certain assessments and things like that. We also go through the tests. So I would say to all of my friends and colleagues that you should also join that session when it will start in the next year, maybe in March. So it's gonna develop many things in you, many qualities in you, and you're gonna be a person of influence in your life. And thank you, sir. Thank you so much for such nice words and comments. Fatima, do you want to say something?
Yes, Daniel. The applications we are the fall cohort for spring 2022. I think we're gonna open in November or in late October. So that was one correction that I wanted to add. I had a question, more of like a thought process, but I'll add that in the next session because it's too late today. We're crossing like 10:30. Yeah, I'll put that. I'll save that for the next week, inshallah. That's all I had to add.
Thank you, Fatma.
Thank you,
Thank you,
sir.
Daniel.
Thank you so much.
One,
Thank you.
one quick thing I want to just say to everyone that it may be, first of all, Danielle and Fatma, thank you for sharing that. And this is something very good. And you guys, basically in America, we call train the trainers. So you basically, especially if you guys, maybe some of you may be the trainer. So you are getting training as a trainer, and then you can train other people, and then will be a cycle will be going on. But I just want to share one quick announcement that during my training, I find out that some people has some issues, some problems, some personal things. They don't want to share upfront in this meet group with everyone. But if you have anything in personal development areas, and if you think you need some help, you want to share with me, send me a separate text message that this is the area where I need help, what I should do. So I will provide myself if I can. If I cannot, then I will let you know that this is not my expertise. I'm sorry, go to Danielle or Fatma. So that's it from my side.
Yes, sir.
Okay, thank you so much.
Thank you, sir. Yes, sir. And when we talk about mastermind, sir, it basically from the first day, we are indulged into the group presentations, teamwork, speaking up. So what it does, it basically develops skills like speaking skills, communication skills. So when we are with the Global Citizen Year Academy students, so it feels like it's too much easy for us to come up with ideas. Like when we had the past training of put your dreams to test, like processes, dreams, and things like that. The same is in the Global Citizen Year also, and we are going through that. So it seems like too much easy for us for covering up the leadership as a practice session. And when I talk about the members of the mastermind, so there are many members whom are not familiar with public speaking and like not have done any presentations before like this. So I usually encourage them to come forward, present the sessions, team, like doing works with the teammates. So that's how they're gonna develop their skills for the upcoming classes and for upcoming sessions. And also when these type of skills are built in them, they're gonna have a better future. Like when we talk about leadership skills and speaking skills, they really help in the interviews, they really help in job findings in future. So it's basically related to our practical life, so we have to also focus on these type of things, these type of trainings after our studies. So I would like to thank all of the members for joining today's session. Thank you so much, Tabish, Amama, Apa, and Faiza Apa for presenting today's Habit 6. It was really great to hear from you. And thank you, Faizan, for your support, always there with us from day first. And thank you, sir. Thanks so much for being here for us, mentoring us, guiding us, supporting us. So it's really making an impact in our lives and everyone's lives. Thank you so much.
Thank you, everyone. And Allah Hafiz, stay blessed and safe. Allah Hafiz.